Meeting to order at 5:32. We're going to start with roll call.
Blue, Capario,
Here.
Granado, here, Alcantara, here, Wilson,
Here.
Taylor, Bronstein,
Here.
Cole, Marlando, here, MacArthur, Preston, here, Simons, here, Cornelius, here, Napier, here, Telefero, here, Caro, here, Patel, here, Pollock, here, Montgomery, Hooks,
Here.
Chris, here, Esbithia, here, Phillips, here, Jones, here, Talbert, here, Morrell, here, Bigler, George, here, George, Salter, Martin, Norton, Floyd,
Here.
Apple Alpha sorority, Apple Alpha fraternity. Can y'all speak up? I cannot hear you.
Here.
Anime Club,
Here.
Artists United,
Here.
Baptist Collegiate Ministry,
Here.
Black Student Union, Chemistry Club, Chess Club, High Five, Computer Club,
Here.
Educators Rising, Enactus, Esports, Exercise Science and Wellness, Gamma Beta Phi, G-Swans, Gospel Choir, Gospel Choir, Kappa Alpha Psi,
Here.
Kappa Delta Pi, Kappa Delta Sorority, National Panhellenic, National Society for Leadership and Success, Panhellenic Association, Sigma Chi,
Here.
Sigma Gamma Rho, Brotherhood, Suave, Game Club, Tabletop, Theta Phi Beta Sorority, Zeta Tau Alpha, Zeta Tau Alpha, RHA, Kappa Sig, Haynes Rainbow,
Okay. We're going to move on to the minutes from last week. Can everyone look over the minutes, please? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I second.
Minutes approved.
Gotta vote on it. Gotta vote on the motion.
On motion.
You just have to say, show of hands.
We're not supposed to do that. Brendan did last week. We're not supposed to do that. Same thing with the amendments to the agenda. He did it last week, but we're not supposed to.
Why? It's in Robert's rules.
Well, that's what he told me that we're not supposed to. He did it last week.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Yep. Anyways,
Who
move.
you talking
Okay, moving on. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
I move to make an amendment to the agenda to add public comment.
Okay, what's the public comment?
Public comment, based on the budget committee's report before this meeting.
Okay, is there a second for that?
I second.
Okay. Any amendments to the minutes? Okay, moving on to announcements, we're gonna start off doing, senators and athletic reports towards the beginning of each meeting, so the RSOs don't miss either one. Senators report, Kavian, she's bringing in the mic, hold on one second.
Online window to the real meeting, Wednesday, March 30th at 6 p.m. The Malpass brothers are gonna be at the Ryland Theater Thursday, March 31st at 8 p.m. There's a registration party at Kane Central Thursday, the 31st, 8 p.m. FYE is hosting First Friday in Kane Central, April 1st at 10 a.m. Arsapalooza is gonna be downtown Americus, 5 p.m. And the school is getting rid of $90 and making upperclassmen buy the bill.
Okay, thank you. For next week's senators report, Elizabeth Taliaferro, can you do it, please? Thank you. Moving on to athletics report.
Golf just has an upcoming tournament, against West Florida. And then baseball's 12-7 today. They lost today at Shorty University. And then they play this weekend here versus Columbus State. Friday they play at 6, Saturday they play at 2, and Sunday they play at 1. And then softball is 20-12. We won against USC Aiken this weekend. Reagan Lee, she's in the freshman class. She won freshman of the week. So if y'all know who I'm talking about, y'all see her, congratulate her. And then we play Shorty this Wednesday at home, 3 and 5, and then we play this weekend against North Georgia, conference game, so be there, support. Saturday is at 1 and 3, and then Sunday is at 1. It's also alumni weekend. And then tennis is 1 and 7. They won against Pocket Arena this Monday. So. And then we're playing this Saturday at 5.
Thank you. Moving on to RSO announcements. Do we have any RSO announcements?
The Brothers of Sigma Chi are hosting our annual Derby Days Philanthropy Week starting this Sunday, the 3rd. It will end next Thursday, the 7th. So if y'all could support us any way possible, we are having a raffle ticket for a Yeti cooler. It's a pretty nice one. $10 a ticket. It's open until 15th, so keep that in mind. Yeah, that's all we got.
Thank you. Thank you. Any more RSO announcements?
Hello, so I wanted to announce that CAFA is holding a party on the 31st at 10 o'clock.
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, moving on to university committee reports. Do we have any university committee reports? Okay. Public comments. So we have a few today. We're going to start off with Mr. Hammonds.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Just real quick, I don't want to dive too much, take up too much of your time. I'm a E4 major, criminal justice student here at GSW, and a couple of me and some other classmates, we kind of got together for the lack of clubs that we have on campus. And so I did some digging and some research and just kind of need to see what avenues to take. One undersized is Alpha Phi Sigma. And then there's a social club, American Criminal Justice Association. One of them you can kind of join at large, but the campus doesn't recognize it because we don't have an active chapter. And so we want to try to see if we can try to start that, get a sponsor, and like I said, see what steps to take to get those chapters active and enrolled in.
Thank you. Next we have, Mr. Bob from the IT department.
Thanks for having us today. This our visit came from what's called an ITAC meeting a few weeks ago. That's one of the faculty committees that exist on campus. It stands for Instructional Technology Advisory Committee. It's a faculty committee, but the student government puts a couple senators on that committee. And you know, we meet once a month or so, and it's been great so far this year that the senators are coming. We've had previous years where the attendance wasn't so great, but it offers a chance for those folks to hear what we're doing in terms of instructional technology here at GSW, ask questions about it, ask questions that are all technology related in general. And of course, in that meeting, some came up mostly about the networks. I thought, you know, there's been previous years where, from an IT department perspective, we've come and at least once a year had a chat with you guys. Just to brief you on what we do, how we do it, how you can get help from us, and allow you to throw questions and such at us, which I'm open to doing this evening. So besides that Instructional Technology Advisory Committee, there's also another committee that student government has a couple senators on, and that's called the IT Steering Committee. And that's a committee more of, it's more staffers, but there are a few faculty on it, and it's generally made up of at least a representative from each department on campus. I want to say Palmer might be one of your folks on that one. So those are two committees that you guys have representation on, and I'm optimistic, hopeful that information flows from us through your reps back to you. What else? A couple, so basically we had a meeting a week ago with Brandon and Hannah, just getting a brief preliminary chat together, allowing them to ask us some questions, and it came up that, you know, why don't we just come and chat with all of you? So they graciously invited us this evening. What else? Been doing a lot of technology upgrades. I'm optimistic that you might be seeing some new equipment in some of your classrooms. Via the pandemic, government funds called HERF, which is H-E, 2 R's, Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund. Granted us, you know, a fair amount of money, and we've been trying to upgrade classrooms that have sorely needed new equipment. We've got about 45 rooms on the list that we've been working on, and I want to say we're almost down to maybe only about 6 that haven't been touched yet, so that's good news. What else? A little idea that came out of our meeting a week ago with Brandon and Hannah was there's been some confusion, maybe from residents who live on campus, maybe the types of devices that they can bring here and put on the residential network and use. We really didn't have good information on our webpage about what you can use and what you can't. So after that meeting last week, we added a little document there. I'm optimistic you guys frequent our page sometimes. There's a lot of information there to answer any questions that you have about IT and using your devices here on campus, connected to the network and such. But that's another document that I'm glad we were able to add that hopefully will clear some things up in that regard. I'm hopeful that everybody here knows how, if you need our help, you know how to send us an email at techsup@gsw.edu. I'm optimistic that if you have before, you've gotten good service from us. If you haven't, let us know. Good, fast, all that good stuff. What else? Pretty good. Do you have any questions for us? Are there concerns that you have? Maybe, for example, what came up in that TAC meeting was, they had said they had some issues with connecting to the Wi-Fi network in. They were having some issues in the residence halls and the coffee shop and in the Storm Dome, and we kind of chatted with them about that. Storm Dome is a real problem, and it's been widely known for a while, especially with us, that basically it's a cinder block hole. I'm talking about in the arena space itself. We've added wireless access points in there to try and beef up that signal for you. It's my understanding that it's pretty good up if you're up in the seats, but if you're down on the court, there may be still some issues. It's just kind of an ongoing thing with us. One thing that we'd love to do that we're getting very little traction on, unfortunately, is maybe putting some sort of cell service booster outside the space that runs into the space that allows you to, if you're having issues connecting to Wi-Fi, at least you get a cell signal in there, because I probably don't have to tell you, it's terrible. So, you know, those things, we know about it, we're working on it. Anybody got any thoughts, comments, questions? We just want, from our perspective, we want the communications lines to be open with y'all. We want your experience here to be great. If it's not, we want to know about it, and we want to do everything we can to make it as good as it can. I told Royce on the way over I was probably going to be preaching in the choir tonight. I'll teach classes, and when we migrated from Gmail over to Microsoft, I would ask everybody in my class that you logged in and such, and every one of them was looking at me like I'm an idiot. And of course we have, and it's easy. Well, doesn't seem to be the case a lot of times when I look at the tickets we get. Go ahead.
Maybe getting printers in the dorms.
Okay.
In the computer labs, because if we're working on a paper, we don't get finished with it till middle of the night. The library's closed.
Okay.
And then we have to turn it in at 8 a.m. and the library's still not open.
Okay. Forgive me, I've been here a long time. We've gone through these waves of. There was a period where we were thinking of just tearing out the computers all together in the residence halls because we'd come in there. No, I'm joking. I can show you old pictures of people stealing keyboards, people stealing mice, people breaking monitors, just going in there and it looked like somebody took a baseball bat to the computers. And from our perspective, it was like, you got to be kidding me. So it's been ebbs and flows in that whole regard in terms of residence hall computing.
Is that why you have that big case over them now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Print management as a whole on campus is something that's on our radar that bothers the hell out of me. And I'm talking from a student perspective, I'm talking from a fact staff perspective. It's something we need to shore up here. There was a period of time where we were looking at, and I think it's still viable, some sort of device that would sit in the library that you could, no matter where you were on campus, you could send a job to it. Just go pick it up. You could pretty much pay for it if it was a cost type of thing. It's just and then I'd love to get crappy inkjet printers off of our faculty members' desks. Maybe just get them down to a network printer in their main office, because I can't tell you how many tickets we get of my printers broken from staffers. Come on. And I'll be honest, you guys really print a lot. I feel like as we go from year to year to year, I feel like printing, I don't know. I'm just kind of a digital dude. I have all my stuff in OneDrive. I don't know. Go ahead, though.
From what I've seen, and granted I'm only a freshman, so I've only been here limited time, but it's kind of out of the blue when they tell you to, it's kind of out of the blue when they tell you to print stuff. Some teachers are more particular about it than others, some don't mind if you email it to them, but there's still professors that require it, and so a lot of times you're faced with the problem of not having a printer to print with, and because it's at awkward times you're either finishing assignments or having to turn in assignments. So it's still. That's fine. Still I don't know everything. I'm great. I'm happy to be able to ask questions about how it's working. Go ahead.
If you do print and take money out of your account that goods to print off, send us a ticket and we'll refund that money. All you got to do is say, you took $1 lines in there, it's smudge, just let it smudge, we'll, we clean that.
I would say 15 minutes. I was gonna say that sometimes, because I've definitely printed multiple times at the printer, because I think there was 2 printers at one time, and in the library there's just 1 printer, and I printed on the wrong printer, printed on the wrong printer, so then I had accidentally. How do you do that?
Send an email to techsup@gsw.edu.
If you have not seen our webpage, please just take a look at it once. It's littered with information. You can send a ticket from there. You can call us on the phone. The ticketing system's ideal because when you send us an email to TechSub, 4 or 5 technicians get it immediately in their inbox, in their email. And then I actually assign it to the appropriate technician to handle, but many eyes see it immediately. And that way, if the appropriate technician's out, I know about it, I can assign it to somebody else. So that's ideally the best way to do it. You can also log into our system yourself with your CaseNet credentials and monitor the status of your ticket in terms of the communication back and forth. That's help.gsw.edu. You can go look at all your legacy tickets from years ago if you've been here a while and you've submitted, multiples. No more questions?
Any more questions?
I have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
If there are any issues or concerns, share them with Brandon, and he can bring them to the IT steering committee, or the senators that are on IPAC.
That's right. I do want to go ahead.
No, my bad.
Sure? Okay. Look, I want to mention something before I go. Student tech fee, okay? One of the things that ITAC, Instructional Technology Advisory Committee, oversees is the spending of that money. You guys pay that money, okay? And by Board of Regents guidelines, we have to have 50% student voting buy-in approval of how we spend that money, okay? So what we try to do each semester is, number one, we always have a prioritized list of what we want to do, and when funds become available, we attack that list. And we show that list to the ITAC, we get their buy-in. We gather, I schedule a meeting, I invite as many students as I can get together, go over the list with them and get their buy-in, okay? I plan to do that over the next 2 to 3 weeks. If you don't mind, I don't mind sending an invite to everybody who's on the student government and have them, it's going to be a Teams thing, so it'll be convenient for you. Just so you're apprised of what we're looking to do with tech fee money in terms of, maybe this lab needs new computers, maybe this classroom needs a new projector, all that good stuff. Maybe your secretary or whoever has a list of all your senators, I'm happy to send that invite to everybody. As well as what I do is I also pull in all of our student lab assistants are paid out of that fund as well. So I kind of lean on them to attend because, they're getting paid out of the fund. They better show up and be aware of kind of what's going on, what we're doing with the funding. So I say that, encouraging you to, if you get an invite from me and your schedule permits, please log in. Again, it's generally short. I guarantee it probably won't be more than 15 minutes. But we just want, we want to follow those guidelines. We want the students as a whole to have a say in how their tech fee money is spent because you guys are the ones funding it, okay? Anything else? You're recording?
Live streaming, yes.
If you're interested in wanting to know how these cameras work,
Yes.
you could do a live stream.
Yeah, we'll need to do that. We'll reach out to you about that. Thank
This is one of the rooms we upgraded a little bit with HERP money last semester.
Thank y'all. Moving on to the body officer reports.
Hold up here.
Oh, excuse me, sorry, go ahead,
Thank you. I'll make it as short as I can. Budget committee met right before this meeting, and one of the things that we voted on was funding plaques for the Oris Bryant Awards that we voted on last meeting. We kind of brought up that we're paying it for this year to pay for the plaques, but we thought that since it is a staff, something that the staff tells us that we have to do, and we're not invited to the award ceremony, that we didn't feel like the $100 should be coming out of our pockets, considering it is a student-ran, we are a student body, it's for the students, not for the staff. So we're saying yes to it this time, but we wanted to bring it up to the president to potentially talk about it to the staff, and see if maybe years following, we do not have to pay for $100 for a plaque for a committee that we're not invited to. That's the
Well, like we mentioned earlier, well, we're gonna have to go with it, this year since we already voted on it. But for next year, we can definitely mention it to them. Thank you. Moving on to student body officer reports. So I'm gonna start off with, the Canes Harvest Project. So Dr. Boren has gotten behind this project. She wants to replace this project with the Ant Flow project because the annual budget for the school may not be able to support the Ant Flow project. We don't know what the budget is looking like, but it's cheaper than the Ant Flow project. They came up with the idea of Canes Harvest to collect and purchase feminine products for the bathrooms in the library, MSC, SSC, and Canes Central. And they're just going to be put into baskets in the women's bathroom. We need to establish a service committee, according to Dr. Bourne, to handle annual refills for this service project. As of now, they have a committee to help for the project and maintain it for this year, but moving forward, we're going to need to have a committee for them. And now I'm going to call the budget committee to take a 5-minute recess to allocate $400 to initialize the Canes Harvest project. Okay, we have more allocations, so I'll just do all of them together. Next, we have elections. Communications committee needs to make a social media flyer to post for elections. Okay. Make sure to have all positions, executive branch, senators, and representatives. Final date for to be the election is April 15th. So have your submissions filled out by then, April 15th, if you're running again or for another position. Applications will be open April the 1st. The flyer needs to be finished and submitted to Adam if you have a flyer for your position by Thursday. I forgot what date. Next Thursday. I forgot what date that is, but next Thursday at 12 p.m. Campaigning can begin after your application is approved. Go ahead.
When you say flyers, do you mean just for executive positions?
Yes, just for executive positions.
So senators and reps don't have to?
No, only executive positions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. How does it work for senators? Like, how does elections work for senators? I know we have to be re-elected. Is it the student body electing us? Do we still have to submit to April 1st, but like what's the process?
So for a senator or a rep, it's usually, you're just gonna submit your application and voting is open to the entire student body. That's how it is.
I'm most likely overthinking this as always, but if you're running for an executive position, do you still have to turn in a senator's application
No, you don't.
If you want to still be on SGA, just in case
Yeah.
you don't get
Yes.
the executive board, do both.
Okay, thank you.
So let's say you want to be on the executive board, so you fill out the application for that, but you also, if in case you lose that position, you can also fill out the senator's application as well. So you'll at least be on the senate. Yes. Campaigning can begin as soon as your application is approved and also your flyer is approved. If you're running for an elected board position. And then we have the Oris Bryant and Faculty Award. This is another allocation that I'm going to call a recess for. It's going to be $100 for the plaques for these awards. And a graduation announcement. For those who are graduating this semester, cap and gowns need to be ordered through the school before April 4th. After April 4th, there's going to be a late charge fee. And now I'm going to call recess for the allocation for the Ant Flow, the Canes Harvest Project, and the Oris Bryant Faculty Awards, and the poster. Do I have? Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
The budget committee agreed to allocate $400 for the Canes Harvest for the feminine products, $30 for an updated poster with new terms for preview days, and $100 for the Oris Bryant Awards plaques.
Sounds good. Moving on to the Senate Secretary report.
We still have $2,623 with 13 cents.
Communications Director.
Hello. Okay. So we met with the Student Appreciation Month Committee, and we decided for the week where we give out those little gifts and everything, like the donuts, we made the first week, yes, we made zones to get that. You get what I'm saying? So like a table in each zone. So like one by the Storm Dome, one in the middle of right there, like that. So yes. We decided on the 8 movies. I can't remember them on the top of my head. The voting will begin on the first week. The voting will begin on the first week. So that'll be on drop, right? Yep, vote on drop. We voted for folding chairs to win. Unfortunately, we realized shipping was $10,000. So we will not be getting folding chairs. And bucket hats win. There you go. So yeah, and that's basically it. Everybody go out to all the student appreciation events. Yes. When are they giving out the bucket hats?
Isn't that for appreciation? No, that's for, instead of t-shirts, it's going to be bucket hats.
Yeah, what day?
Appreciation.
It's the day? Yeah, it's the 28th. It's for the actual day of student appreciation. Cool. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Principal Advisor and Chief Justice.
Oh.
Okay. No, I'm good. Okay, so last meeting, we elected Caitlin to be the supervisor of elections. Now, to help along with elections, there has to be a student elections commission. So we need what, 4?
4.
4?
Could be senators or representatives.
Yes. So they would just be a judicial tribunal of student government overseeing the conduct and the complaints. And then these people should not hold nor held any position or affiliation with any past or present student government political parties or independent candidates. So you can't be associated with no one that's running, basically. And then from there, they elect a clerk. They elect a clerk of the elections commissions, which would be under the chair.
How would you know if you were affiliated with the people? We don't know who's running yet. How would you know if you're affiliated if we don't know the people who are running yet?
It can't be like you. If AC is running, you can't. Okay. If we know who is like really close to who or who knows who, so like we wouldn't get Alex to do it with AC either, or we wouldn't get like Jimmy Carter kids to do it together because we know you guys know each other really well. How do you do that? Everybody in there knows everybody. Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about like really cool, like you know who
You might
hangs
know
out
the
with.
person, but it's not like you're associated close with someone else.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so I think here's the
hold
here's
on,
the
hold on.
here's the
Sorry.
thing though. If you're choosing now of who's gonna be in that committee, then what if, for example, I will be running and they're on the committee? Will you get rid of them and then find new ones?
At that point, we're gonna have to. But I'm just going off of base what the Constitution is telling me.
Okay, yeah. It's just
No, I'm just telling you that's what I'm going off of based on the Constitution, what Brandon wants done.
Okay, anything else?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Moving on.
I guess not.
Okay, moving on to, before I go to committee reports, RSOs, are permitted to leave now if they choose to.
Hey, tell them to, if they want to be into this committee, to talk to me
If any of you came in late, please talk to Miranda before you leave the meeting. And, what else did you say?
If they want to be a part of the committee, then just talk to me after.
Yeah.
If any of you want to be part of this committee that if any of you want to be a part of this committee that Jackie just mentioned, the Elections Commission, please talk to Jackie after the meeting. Okay. Moving on to committee reports. Rules and Ethics Committee.
We were good attendance, and we talked about the elections, but none of us can help because we're all playing.
Communications.
Tori's not here, but she made a flyer for the food pantry.
Parking Ticket Committee.
We met yesterday to go over the appeals that were in the system, so we can get the holds off of students' accounts for registration. For the remainder of the semester, we are meeting on Wednesdays at 5:30 from now on. We will not meet any other days because it doesn't work for our schedules. And we already have SGA on Tuesday. I'm gonna call and talk to Ms. Donna at Public Safety tomorrow about maybe stopping giving out tickets at the end of April. Because we have finals and we're not gonna wanna meet as we're trying to pass our finals. So we're gonna see if we can do that. That way our last meeting can be on May 4th. So don't go parking where you're not supposed to park still.
Judiciary Committee.
Until I put it on the license.
Appeals Committee. Agenda Committee.
So we went over the agenda, but we wanted to make sure you guys know that we will not be meeting here next week because of the nursing coding ceremony. So we'll be meeting at the second floor conference room at the Storm Dome. Did everyone get that? Second floor conference rooms and the Storm Dome. Thank you.
For those of you that
April
don't
5th.
know, that's the conference room behind Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
But April 5th,
Yeah.
still the same time.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
Budget Committee.
We met right before this meeting. She said yes.
Sounds good. Moving on to the Diversity Inclusions Committee reports, classification. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I am doing my classification is freshmen, and I talked to a couple of freshmen, and two of the things I was told by one freshman is that they would like to-go cups, is to go to-go containers in the caf, so they can not as well take food and drink with them, I guess, if that's possible. I'm not sure if we can do that, but I guess that'd be nice. And something else was to have more options in the caf. So one of the things that they said possibly do is create a quiz or survey so students could add, like say you wanted tacos or say you wanted certain foods, you could add it to the survey or quiz, and then you could submit it to the app and see what they could do to add more diversity to it.
I just have a question. So cups, do you mean those fruit cups type cups?
No,
or-
cups to like drink. You know how
Oh,
cups
they
are.
don't have to go to cups?
As far as I know, I don't know if we have to go cups, but they wanted, you know how the to-go boxes, they also want like to-go. Yeah, like those.
Yeah.
To-go
Okay,
cups.
okay, so I thought they had the to-go cups.
They
Okay, sorry.
they currently have like they're like almost like French round out front cups. They're really
Oh,
small.
okay.
And so sorry, apologies. But they're really tiny cups. I'm sorry. They have cups, but they don't have lids. They're really small cups,
Oh, okay.
and they don't have any lids. So it's really hard to bring a drink with you because you have a to-go cup.
And so students that have like they can't stand the cab to eat, so they get a to-go box and a to-go cup with them, so they can have food and drink.
Sounds good. That's a good idea.
Menu options, so we'll think about that. I don't know how we would go about that, but I think that'd be something interesting, so people can add things to the menu, so we're not eating the same thing every couple of weeks.
That's a good idea. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hey y'all. The first thing that we first want is some ice machines in the dorm labs. But ice.
In the lobby?
Ice. But they want the ones that, you know, like you go to the hotel, you put your gun in front of your fridge, not the one you built, because the second thing they want grilling in the dorms, but we just talked about that, so that's it.
Michaela. I'll tell you after.
Okay, so on the third floor, there's like the fridge has the ice machine. Yeah. Would that conflict with like giving the ice machine?
What building?
Because there's ice on the third floor.
Oh, there is.
Oh.
But
I think, and yeah, an ice machine, just an ice machine would be a better idea than. Yeah.
Hey, I know we've talked about the ice machines ever since I've been in SGA.
Yeah.
So it probably not, I hate to tell you. And the reason with the to-go cups is before, when we were freshmen, there were no to-go anythings. You had to stay, and what they want to do, they want to bring that back. So they want to limit people leaving. That's why they don't have to-go games.
It's just for students that don't have the time to sit and eat there.
Yeah, I totally agree.
They said they were ordering them a while ago, but they said that COVID was backing up the orders.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's still COVID backing up the orders. They said they couldn't get the like styrofoam plates, the to-go plates, because COVID was like the shipping and everything was messing it up. So they said it was gonna take a while, but it's been a while.
Okay. Moving on to colleges. Go ahead.
So I represent the College of Arts and Sciences, and I talked to some of the students specifically in the art department. Some of the students are not happy with maintenance because, well, sometimes they like to move students' work when they're working on stuff and they don't give us any prior notice. And specifically in the painting studio, during spring break, some students' work got moved while the paintings were still wet, and they were not appreciative of that.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
This is for the College of Education. They would like SGA sponsored events to get most of us interested in education. And some of the alumni that were education majors, they would like to come in and give advice to students, but they don't know how to affect them. So I'm thinking that the SGA sponsored event.
If you could somehow give me the emails of those alumni, and we can contact them about that. Okay, thank you. Athletics. I'm sorry. Athletics.
We're pretty much good right now. I mean, everyone I talked to was like, we're good. Just come on support. I mean, we did just get new locker rooms.
Residential / commuter report.
So, rep, it's for she asked an RL and they said they don't have anything they could do to improve the residence hall at this moment. Well, there's a few things. Improvement of laundry services, washing and dryers, they don't work properly. Improvement of the internet, just talk about that. And implementing programs for tutoring, tutors to come in and help because grades are not what it's supposed to be in the freshman halls.
Also, side note for the washers and the dryers, same thing with the ice machine thing. We've been talking about that since my freshman year, which was 4 years ago.
Well, we gotta do something.
Their solution.
Aren't we getting new washers and dryers next year?
The warranty is set up.
Who's we? I thought the warranty. I don't remember.
I believe it'll be said the warranty for the washers and dryers will this year.
This year?
Okay. And
And they need to be free.
I was under the assumption that they were working on getting new washers and dryers.
They also said if you guys have a problem with the washers and dryers, it's not the school that has to fix them. The school has nothing to do with
Yeah,
the
it's a
laundry.
private company.
You have to call the company's number on the washer and dryer, and they have to come out and fix it. It has nothing to do with the school, so they can't fix it even if you tell them.
Okay.
Moving on to second readings, we don't have any, no first readings. So, roll call.
Fuller, Capadia,
Here.
Granado,
Here.
Alcantar,
Here.
Wilson,
Here.
Taylor, Brownstein, Call, Marlando,
Here.